Oi! So welcome back to, must be about my third or fourth video of my horror collection. Today we're going to do the MNOPQR. That's because we sort of did a few of those random ones before. And then go to the S, R and S. Anyway, let's get into this. So I guess this is the MNOPs right here. And we'll hit where we left off. Necromantic, that must be part 2. Like I said before, bad films, good films, bad films. Nightmare at the End of the Hall, that wasn't too bad. So Blind Buy, Never Sleep Again's the doco on Freddy, which is really cool. I think that's really long from memory, which is awesome. Next of Kin is a Aussie thriller, which is actually slow burner, but really cool. Nurse, which I'm sure you all know and have probably seen. I like that one. Night Train to Terror, really cheesy 80s thing. It's got this really annoying song that runs through the whole thing. Return to Nukem High, which is pretty awesome. Nursey, which wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. Night of Fear, which is this really cool Aussie film from the 70s. Oh, it was definitely worth a watch. Inn of the Dam, less so, but Night of Fear is pretty cool. Nullarbor Nymph is a terrible Aussie movie. Never watched that. It is just awful. Nightmares. I think that might be Aussie too. It's not too bad. 80s. Class of Nukem High. Bit more trauma stuff. Otis, which I watched the other day, or Christmas time. That was really good. Quite a good black comedy. The Old Dark House, which is a great Karloff film of unknown origin. Peter Weller, what's his name? Robocop is the lead in this, and this is a great, really good film. One of the best rat films you'll ever see. Orca, fantastic. It's an awesome alternative to Jaws. Offerings, which is just some 80s trash. Mimic 3, I don't really like the Mimic series, but 3 is really good. It's by this director. I've mentioned him before. Normally I forget his name. This time I remember it's J.T. Petty. And he did, look back at my other videos. He's really good. Man from Deep River is another good one in that sort of vein of Cannibal Holocaust. I think I did enjoy that. There's kind of a weird romance thing going on there. The remake to Maniac, which I thought was awesome. They did a good job there. Monkey Shines, which is a cool 80s monkey movie, which is quite good. Mama, didn't mind that. Nothing wrong with Mama. Martyrs, fantastic. That blew my mind when I first watched it. When it first came out. May is awesome too. Angela Bettis. The Maniac Cops, that's part 3. Sort of lost interest by about part 3. Massacre at Central High is really good. There might be a better copy than the one I've got, but I had this on I owned it on VHS years ago. It's actually pretty good. Just cheesy 80s stuff. Madman is a great Friday the 13th type thing. Really fun, cheesy. It's got this terrible song to it. It's definitely watch. And I owned that on VHS too years ago. Maniac, the original, great movie. Manhunt, that was foreign film. It was alright from memory. Make Out with Violence, that's good. That's really good. Kind of a little bit indie, but really quite good. Maniac Cop 2. Mimic, that is like, maybe that's the first one. Don't even bother with Mimic or Mimic. I mean, I'm sure there's big Mimic fans out there, but I didn't like the first 2. Meat Train, I don't remember that being very good, but I see a lot of people refer to it, so maybe I should watch it again. Midnight Movie is cheesy. It's a more recent one, must be in the later 2000s, like closing on 2009 or something like that. Actually not too bad. It's kind of a little bit like that 80s movie Popcorn, just a bit. Midnight, it's an old 80s, maybe Virgin on 70s type thing. Misery, I don't care for the movie. I read the book as a kid, and the book is just so good. The movie just never did anything for me. Mimic 2, talked about them. Megan is Missing. This is really awful film, really terrible. There's some really gross stuff at the end. It's a pretty good film, but it makes you feel sick. What's this? Murder Set Pieces. That's I think that must be like a rated cut, and that's the hard to find unrated cut. I think you'd have trouble finding that. Another terrible movie. Nasty movie. Mum and Dad's fairly nasty. That's the original Maniac Cop. the Manitou. That's pretty fun. 80s Indian spirit type thing. A little bit of Poltergeist going on in there from memory. Magic wasn't too bad. Kind of a weird thriller. It was pretty good. Mortuary, I think that's a Tobe Hooper, later Tobe Hooper, which is alright, kind of cheesy. Monster Man. Oh, I saw this on VHS years ago. It's not that old. It'd be 90s, late 90s. Well, maybe it's even in the 2000s. Anyway, I did get it on a VHS. And as cheesy as it is, it's actually really fun. Really fun. Remake to Bloody Valentine and the original Bloody Valentine. The remakes, oh, it's alright. I don't mind it. But the original is the better one of the two. Now we go on to the PQR. This is a good film. Rare Exports about Santa. It's probably the best take on Santa Claus I've ever seen. I think it's like a semi-kids movie. It's pretty scary though. These Rest Stop movies, or at least one of them. Is that the second one? That's the first one. They're not too bad. They're not great, but they're not too bad. Beyond Reanimator. That'd be my favourite, apart from the original. I kind of liked Beyond Reanimator. Cue the Winged Serpent. Cheesy fun. Larry Cohen from memory. Bride of Reanimator. Didn't really do it that much for me. Pretty cheesy. It's got the cool stop motion effects though. Rest Stop. That must be the sequel, which isn't too bad again. This must be, what's his name? Cronenberg, Rabid. Not his best. Worth a watch if you're a Cronen fan. Definitely collect it if you're a Cronenberg fan. Reanimator is the original. Fantastic. You all know that. And Ravenous is pretty damn good. I remember watching that as a kid when it first came out. It was a pretty good movie actually. What else have we got here? Pervert. It is what it is. Pet Sematary, I talked about this once before. It's my favourite Stephen King adaptation. I really love that movie. And I actually don't mind Pet Sematary 2. I like it. Eddie Furlong, man. I do like Pet Sematary 2. Pumpkinhead's kind of cool. But you know what? I really like Pumpkinhead 2 better. Bloodwings. I really quite like that. Here's some more Pumpkinheads. I can never remember which is which, but it's like the third and fourth. You don't really need to see them unless you really want to. Actually, I was thinking about this movie today, Phantom of the Opera, the Robert Englund one. It doesn't have the cool cover it used to have on VHS. I want to see that. I might put that aside because I want to watch that again. Return of the Living Dead 3. It'll be one of my favourites of this series. Possibly my favourite. I think maybe 1 and 2 are pretty good. But I really do like 3. There's something not really special about it. Part 2. Yeah, I think Part 3 beats Part 2 in my book. Part 1's pretty damn good though, isn't it? Like really. And even the effects are pretty damn awesome. That sludge, no, the toxic guy. You know what I'm talking about. The guy in the barrel is pretty awesome. Prom Night 4. Don't even bother. Just collect it. It's collector purposes only for Prom Night 4. People Under the Stairs. Didn't love this film. I've watched this many times over the years. Watched it as a kid. Enjoyed it, but didn't love it. Pelts is one of those Master of Horror ones. I think it's got that big singer. What's his name? Meatloaf. Peeping Tom is I think it's 1960s. One of the earliest sort of. I think it's even a bit of a slasher in some ways, or it's very voyeuristic, as you can imagine. It's definitely worth a watch. Classic movie. Prowler. And I think I bought that one overseas. You can buy it here, and it's called Rosemary's Killer or something like that, which is a rubbish name. But this is a better I bought this from overseas just because it's got a better cover and I like the name of the Prowler better. Prophecy is one of these nature revenge movies, which isn't too bad. It's like this massive bear thing. It's kind of fun. Prom Night, the remake. I really like this. I saw this in the movies. I know a lot of people hate it. It's just so straightforward. It just makes it feel really pure to me, if you know what I mean. Like a very pure, basic slasher. There's nothing special about it, but that's what I really loved about it. I'd be keen to see that again too. I really did enjoy the remake to Prom Night. I know a lot of people didn't, but something about it was just so pure. Is that weird? Jessica Rabbit was alright. Is it Troma? It is Troma, yeah. Room 6, I talked about this not so long ago around Christmas. It's not too bad. It's not that original, but it's pretty decent. Rites of Spring. I bought it for how awesome the old school cover looks. It's just a new movie though. Wasn't that good. Room. That's a weird film. Definitely not a good film. Very long and tedious. And I don't mind a bit of tedium. The Ring, I remember watching that at the movie theaters. And I did enjoy it. Run, Bitch, Run. That'd be one of your rape revenge type films. I dare say fairly nasty from memory. Rec series, fantastic. I've never seen the American remakes. I think, is it Quarantine, the remake of these? Or at least the first one. The Recs, though, are... I want to see part 4. The first 2 have the best atmosphere ever. The third one's off on a different tangent, but definitely worth a watch too. Rats, Night of Terror. That's insane, that film. There's scenes where they're just tipping buckets of live rats on people. Ugh. Red, White and Blue is pretty rough from memory. Pretty rough, but good. Razorback's a good Aussie monster creature feature. Rika, I really liked... I didn't really like it, but I enjoyed it. When I hired it out years ago, when it first came out. Bought it again. It's fine. I got the remake. The sequel up there. It's hard to watch. Return to Horror High. I didn't really dig it. I remember looking at this cover all the time when I went into the VHS store as a kid. Never hired it. Got it, in the last 10 years. A bit cheesy. Return of the Living Dead. That must be like part, who knows, 5, 6. They're fine. Necropolis gets a bit weird. A bit Hellraiser 3, if you know what I mean. With the monsters and stuff. A bit over the top. Rosemary's Baby. You gotta love Rosemary's Baby. Great movie. Roadkill. That's what you in America would call Joyride. I remember watching that at the cinemas and absolutely loving the hell out of that. And when I was in the States in maybe 2009, I picked up what in Australia is called Roadkill 2, but because I picked it up in the States, it's called Joyride 2. I reckon Roadkill's a better name for it, don't you reckon? Anyway, Ring 2. It's the Ring 2. It's alright. Oh, I guess we better start with the R and the S. Oh, wow. I love sifting through these. I haven't done this in years. Rogue is another bad Aussie cross movie. Road Games would be up there in my top 10 Aussie films. I know it's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it, but we do that. You would have heard me rant about that before. We do that to suck in the American audience, I believe. Storm Warning is quite a good Aussie film too. I started watching it. It took me a little while to realise, hey, this is Aussie, man. A little bit Texas Chainsaw. Pretty cool. Pretty cheesy. Sillip. That's just a bit of sleazy stuff right there. It's very tedious. It's got some sleazy stuff in it though. Resident Evil. I just bought this because it was dead cheap and there was like a whole bunch of it. Like, is there 5 of them or something? I enjoyed over a period of many weeks watching them. I don't love them. Snowtown. That's a great Aussie thriller, based on real events. It's pretty horrendous. Serpent and the Rainbow. I enjoyed that. Voodoo type thing. I remember hiring these out as a kid. The Shocking Asia films. Weird documentary type things. It's just shocking stuff, really. Rubber. That's pretty good. Pretty fun. Fairly recent. Red Eye. Nothing wrong with that. I think that must be a Wes Craven one. It's fine. It's not bad. Screams. Where are these? There's a few Screams. That must be 3 and 4 and 2. Always enjoy them. I've watched every single one of them at the movie theatre as they came out from Scream 1, Scream 2. Do enjoy them. Simon Says is not bad. It's got Crispin Glover in it. Cheesy but good. Shadow of the Vampire. That's about Nosferatu, the making of Nosferatu. It's pretty good. Silent House. I think they remade had an American remake of this. This is the original version, and it's really good. I don't know what the remake's like, but that version is bloody awesome. Scorned is probably what you guess it is. Girlfriend revenge type film. Street Trash. Anyone that loves trashy movies, you have to watch this movie. It is insane. Shivers, that's really good. I think it might have other names, but it's like about a venereal disease spreading around. It's pretty fun. That'd be Cronenberg, I reckon. Sandman is a documentary. It's pretty creepy, by JT Petty. So it's real stuff, and he follows around people that make disturbing videos on YouTube and stuff like that. There's one guy he follows where he follows people and films them without them knowing, and actually gets in their houses and stuff. It's messed up. It's pretty interesting doco. It's not the best doco though. The subject matter should make it really good, but it's not the best. Silent Hill, I don't really like those movies. They're fine, but you know, I didn't love them. Silent Night, Deadly Night, 1, 2, 3, 4 probably, and 5. No, that's just 3, 4, and 5. They're worth watching. They're not good by any stretch of the imagination, but there's some alright. I think the Toy Maker caught my interest. It's not too bad. It's me. There's the original Scream. Spookies is good, cheesy fun. It could be Italian from memory, but I don't. Yeah, I think it is. It's not bad. Splinter, always enjoyed that. I hired that out when it first came out. Good take on sort of a not quite zombie-ish, alien-ish. Anyway, Species 1, 2, and 3. I remember watching Species because I was a big Alien fan and it looked alienish. I saw Species at the theatre when I was a kid and I was so disappointed, and the rest of them are just rubbish too. Sorority Row remake, I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that. Don't know what you guys think. Someone is watching me. That could be John Carpenter. It is John Carpenter. Not bad. It could also be a TV movie. I don't remember. Smash Cut. It's very Herschel Gordon Lewis, but it's new age. It's got that porn star in it. Whatever her name is. Sleepwalkers. That's I think that's Stephen King. It's not too bad. Slaughterhouse Massacre is horrendous. Never watched that movie. It is so bad. So boring. The Slayer. Wow. This is really good. It's very long-winded and a slow burner. But if you're into that slow burners, I really, really enjoyed that a lot. Silent Scream. Don't remember a whole lot about that. Sleepaway Camp, the original. Cool. Enjoyed it. It's the best out of all the sleepaways. Here's some more sleepaways, 2 and 3, which aren't really that good, let's be honest. The remake, which probably, no, not the remake, it was like the 4th one, Return to Sleepaway Camp. It really wasn't that good either. Slumber Party Massacres, that's the first one, but I have this pack and it's got 1, 2, and 3. I really like the one where there's like that rock and roll, there might be part 3, I think, weird rock and roll dream stuff going on. I enjoyed it. Here's a bunch of saws. I'll just show them like that. I had fun doing a marathon of these saws. Because I bought them late in the game. They're good movies. There's nothing wrong with the Saw movies. And it's definitely fun, like I said, to watch them one after the other, even if it's over a matter of weeks or something. Sorority House Massacres are just sort of even worse versions of Slumber Party Massacres. They're really not very good. Sweet Karma is so bad. What a waste of money. Sinister, I really enjoyed that. It was one, I think showing the guy at the end ruined it though. I still really enjoyed it, but when he came to life or whatever, and you saw him up close to the mask, killed it. Sick Birds Die Easy is a whacked out documentary. Read about it. It's really interesting. Sleep Tight's fantastic. Foreign film. I can't remember where it's from. Creepy as all hell. So creepy. Savage Streets. Pretty fun. Linda Blair. Exorcist. Stage Fright. Now, I know heaps of people hate this movie. And I bought it because I thought it was a remake to that awesome 80s movie Stage Fright, which it is not. This is basically a horror musical. And I loved it. I really had a lot of fun and I laughed out loud at this. I know tons of you guys, if not all you guys, hate this film. But man, I got a kick out of it. Maybe it was just the mood I was in at the time. Squirm's cool. Killer worm movie. Seed People is awful. It's by that company. I can't even think of what it is, but Suspiria. Bloody hell, my dog chewed the end of that years ago. What a pest. What a pest. This lovely slipcase and all this sort of rubbish and fold out and all this nice stuff. And he bloody chewed the edge of it. What do you do? What do you do? Stephen King collection. It's got Silver Bullet, Maximum Overdrive, and Cat's Eye. Some of them are alright. Some of them are not so good. Maximum Overdrive is terrible. Not even the AC/DC soundtrack saves that film. Sick Nurses is great. Asian film. Really good. Kind of funny, cheesy, weird. Some of those Asian films. Worth a watch. Slave Girls from Infinity is pretty fun. Solstice was just average. Stepfather remake. Wow, what a bad movie. I remember hiring all the 3 Stepfathers out on VHS when I was a kid, and man, they were a great series. I watched them more than once. And this remake, just so bad. So bad. Slaughter High is not bad. Spontaneous Combustion and Society. Both pretty cool films. Society is probably the one I would recommend to watch. 7 Bloodstained Orchids is one of those Italian guys. Umberto Lenzi. Silent Night remake. Oh, it's not great by any means. It's alright. Stuff Stephanie in the Incinerator is nothing like you would expect. It's such a weird film. I did enjoy it, but I don't think it wasn't even really horror. It was just so weird. Shadow Zones by that same company I was talking about before, which I didn't mention. Full Moon. Never a big Full Moon fan. Summer of the Massacre. That's bad. Man, that's a bad film. It's a recent film. It's really bad. Snapshot's an Aussie one. Got more of a thriller. It's pretty cool. It's worth a watch. Soft for Digging. That is J.T. Petty's first film. It's got no dialogue in it. It's worth a watch. Anything J.T. Petty does, I recommend you go and check out. Stepfather 2. Enjoyed that. Stepfather 1. Very good. I really want to get Stepfather 3. I've been wanting to get it for years, but it's super expensive because it's out of print. That's the Stage Fright from the 80s, which is so good. So good. See that Birdman? That's the killer. That doesn't ruin anything. The picture's on the back. You know this one. Sorority Babes from the Slime Bowl-orama, whatever. Spirit Camp is about as good as it looks. Suck. I enjoyed that. A vampire comedy movie. I really enjoyed it. It's a good movie. Savage Man, Savage Beast is sort of in the vein of the Shocking Asias. Some interesting stuff in that. Sweet 16 is just a very average 80s slasher. Could be 70s, but I'm pretty sure it's 80s. Silent Hill, the original. Talked about Silent Hills before. Sweet House of Horrors. Italian film. Stuff, which is pretty good. That's Larry Cohen from memory. Slash is fairly average. Maybe early 2000 slasher. Silent Night 1 and 2. Never watched... Well, Silent Night 2 is just a whole bunch of footage rehashed of the first one. It's such a boring movie. Silent Night 1 is pretty damn good. Punish. Oh, goodness me. That could be German. There's some really horrendous stuff in this film. Wow. No dialogue. That's a messed up film. Summer of Fear. I remember thinking that was alright. It's bad. Like, it's not very good, but it's... For a not very good movie, it's alright. You know what I mean? Shrooms. I enjoyed that. It's very predictable, but I enjoyed it. Shocker. Watched that. Hired that on VHS at a friend's place years ago. Got a lot of good memories. It's not that good a film, though. Wes Craven. Salem's Lot's a great TV movie. It's pretty long because it's a TV movie, but, you know, it's good. Shock 'em Dead has got some... I don't know if she was in porn or something. I don't know. I can't even think of what her name is. Some famous girl. Kind of cool rock and roll horror. Oh. Now, my Nana let me hire this out. I don't think she knew. I just said, oh, Nana, like I was like a little kid. I said, Nana, can I get this movie out on VHS? And she didn't look, just picked it, paid it for it. And I went back to my Nana's house and watched it. And it's, holy moly, it's a rough film. It's a good film. Weird film. Strangeland, that's Twisted Sister guy. D. Snyder made that. Serial Mum's pretty cheesy comedy. Would that be John Waters? Speaking of John Waters, I watched last night at a friend's place. What was it called? Pink Flamingos. Man, that is... Whoa! You've never seen a film like Pink Flamingos. It's sleazy, it's filthy, it's outrageous. I've got a feeling, did John Waters do this? Anyway, John Waters is in this. A film by John Waters. Anyway, enough of John Waters. Check out whatever I said, Pink Flamingos, if you want something off the charts. Slaughter. Don't even remember that film. That's it. that's it for the moment, guys. We shall continue. I reckon I must be getting to the end now. That was like R and S at the end there. Once again, thanks very much for watching. I've been enjoying pulling these out and remembering all these films, and I've got a few pulled aside that I'm going to watch in the next little while. I think I'll dig these. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will see you next week.